Bryan Hayes is back, and it's time to talk a little hockey, specifically the Canadian men's Olympic team, a team absolutely loaded with star-studded talent. But there's got to be one player, Bryan, you have in mind who you feel will be the most important for Canada as we get set to start this Olympic tournament on Thursday.
Yeah, I think it's Cale Makar. I do. I think it's Cale Makar, and I think it's Makar by a landslide, Jay. I really do. And I know people are going to look to the goaltending, and I understand that. It's a prominent position. They still have to figure out exactly who that guy's going to be. And I know McDavid's important, and McKinnon's important, and obviously the captain, Sidney Crosby. But I think the drop-off from Cale Makar to whoever you believe is the second best, most impactful defenseman on this team is a massive discrepancy. Much more of a discrepancy between McDavid and McKinnon. Where if McDavid, who has to be important, is important, has to be great, let's say he has an off night, I trust McKinnon will have a great night. And if you can play off the two of them, you're in really good hands. Going from Makar to Theodore to Harley to Doughty to Morrissey to Sanheim, whoever it is, Taves, his D partner, they're all very good players. Makar's a superstar. He's a great, great player. And I think if they get to a gold medal game, he might have to play 30 minutes that game. I really do. And I think when you compare the Canadian defense pairs to the American defense pairs, it is a big gap. Again, the States is loaded. All three of their pairings are loaded with talent on both sides of the ice, where I think Makar really sticks out. So I think it is Cale Makar. I really do. I think his impact on this tournament has to be significant. He wasn't healthy at the Four Nations, and they survived without him. I don't think they can do that again. I think they need him at 100%, playing 24, 25 minutes a night. And once you get to the semis and into a gold medal game, I'm telling you, 28, 29, 30 minutes, because the drop-off between Makar and whoever's second on that back end is much more significant than any other position we're talking about when it comes to Canada.
So we know Team Canada, so much pressure. Obviously, it's gold or nothing for this team every time they go to the Olympics. You and I both know that. The pressure on Team USA, you might be able to argue, is just as high, especially considering they lost that Four Nations face-off to Canada. You know they're thinking revenge. You know they want to get this gold. And so I guess my question for you, Bryan, is for the captain of Team USA, Auston Matthews, where does he slot in terms of players feeling pressure and expectations coming into this tournament?
I think he's at the top of the list. I really do. I think for a number of reasons. What you just said about the history of USA hockey, like they have to pounce. They believe in their program. They're a great program. They're a great team. They should have gold medal ambitions, right? They had championship ambition at the Four Nations face-off, and they got all the way to overtime, and they almost got it done. But when it comes to the Olympic Games, best on best in the Olympics, I'm not talking miracle on ice. I'm talking from 98 onward, they've never won a gold medal. And this is probably the best team they've ever had. And I think when you look at Matthews in particular, his reputation is a guy that's not clutch. So how does this jive? How do you have gold medal ambitions? How do you have the captain of the team? I think when he's on his game, the best player on the team, him or Quinn Hughes would probably pair off in that conversation. And yet his reputation is he's not clutch. Something has to give here. And it's on Matthews to prove that that's not the reputation he's going to have starting today moving forward. If you're the captain of a team like this, you've got to lead by example. You've got to be great. He's got to have a big, big moment in his career, right? And the fact of the matter is when he gets back to Toronto, gets back to the NHL, I don't think the Leafs are going to make the playoffs this year. So the chance for him to prove he's not clutch or can be clutch in the playoffs this year, probably not available to him. So he's got 2 weeks to change his whole reputation in the hockey world. He's chasing greatness in terms of the American list. Could he be the greatest American of all time? This 2-week opportunity is as big as it gets. This is when you get Americans tuning in that don't generally check in on hockey, and they ask, who's the captain? Who's the best player? It's Auston Matthews. So if you win, he's going to get a lot of love, like he will deserve. If they lose, I think he'll take the most heat. So sure, there's pressure on McDavid, of course, but he's got McKinnon and Makar, and I think the history of Canada behind him. Matthews is, I think, carrying a deeper, heavier burden going into this tournament based on his own success, his own reputation, and the success, the reputation, and the history of USA hockey when it comes to the Olympic Games. So I think Matthews' pressure list, he's at the top for me.
Just like the Canadians, the Americans will open their tournament this Thursday. USA faces Latvia. This is Bryan Hayes.